A lot of people don't have anything. If you don't have anything, take a shot. And the thing is, we're all here on this earth for a limited amount of time. I promise you, you're going to leave without all the money. You're going to leave without everything. The only thing you take is experience. Eventually, I was like, yeah, I'll buy one a month for the year of 2013. That'll be pretty cool. And I ended up surpassing that and buying 14 in the 12 months. It's easy for me to help you build your portfolio if that's what you want. Super easy. I do this with my eyes closed, but I can't fix the mistakes of the past. That includes my own.
What we want to, I guess, help the people understand at home, Mick, is, obviously a lot of people, you got a couple thousand followers online, you've been putting out a lot of social media stuff, you're all in on your business, it's almost like a little bit of a comeback, I would say. What are some of the things, I guess, growing up that you want to highlight about your life and get them to know about you?
It's a little bit of a comeback. I mean, let's face it. I don't think I ever put in as much effort in my business and into myself since I've been a buyer's agent. I mean, even back when I started my buyer's agency, I didn't put the focus and the effort into it the way I am right now, and that's only because I'm enjoying what I'm doing so much right now. And I have that purpose, and I'm enjoying helping people more than ever, and loving my role more than ever. The main thing is that right now, I'm very different in mindset, and I'm happy, I'm content.
Yeah, that's great. Do you want to take us back down memory lane, I guess?
Yeah. So I don't come from a wealthy family. My parents migrated from Europe to Australia, and we didn't grow up with money. Money wasn't something that we had a lot of in our household, but we never went hungry. I had a roof over my head, but we definitely, I don't recall my parents ever having a brand new car. Like we didn't have, but we had. So yeah, it was one of those things where I, being the dopamine guy that I am, I love fast cars, and I love flashy things as a kid, and always wanted to have the things that I didn't have, and I just somehow was attracted to the expensive things. So I had a taste. I had the champagne, or was it champagne taste on a beer budget? So that was that. And, obviously didn't like school very much. I wasn't very, I never listened. Let's face it. I wasn't, I didn't listen. I didn't find anything interesting that they taught me at school. Somehow I love learning about real estate later on. So yeah, skipped a lot of school, got kicked out of school. Ended up becoming a security guard, work 7 days a week, and that's pretty much the early days. But in terms of hobbies, I was I played rugby league as a kid, which I was supposed to play football.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe it's our Balkan background, but ended up playing rugby league. I don't think I was talented. I think I was just big and strong, and I could play a year or two up and knock people around, but anything that required talent, like playing in the halves or anything, definitely wasn't me. But yeah, no, I also obviously love cars, car racing, and I'd always nick my parents' car whenever they weren't looking and take it around the block as a teenager. Standard sort of stuff.
Yeah, right. What car did they have?
I don't know, but I smashed it like 4 times. I actually called my dad last week and I said, do you remember how many times I smashed your car as a kid? And I remember one time, like, literally, I smashed it into a tree doing doughies like in the morning, and the poor guy had to get up for work to go work on a construction site, and there I am, 17, smashed his car, had to bring it home on a tow truck, like it's fucked, like the tree right up to the steering wheel. I said, F, we might have to cut that. But the tree's all the way up to the windshield. Like, car's smashed. So I'm there at the dining table just waiting for him to wake up, and he wakes up, and I'm like, listen, I smashed the car just a little bit. And he was telling me this story like on the phone, and he goes, yeah, just a little bit. And he's like, what do you mean a little bit? Like, you bought it home on a tow truck. What do you mean it's just a little bit? So poor guy definitely had it tough with me because I didn't really listen. So yeah, I remembered that story the other day and gave him a call just to say sorry. And it was good that we had a laugh about it now. But that was my upbringing.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that was your...
Actually, that's my upbringing. That's one story amongst the many, many stories, but I want the smashed car to define my upbringing, right?
Yeah, that's right. So What's next? What happened? I guess tell us a little bit more.
Mate, so yeah, I was working a fair bit as a security guard, 7 days a week. And yeah,
For yourself?
for myself and, just saving as much money as I could to move out of home. And the goal was to find a place and move out and rent. Obviously, wasn't too much into property investment at that stage. I was just more so looking to move out of home. Ended up realising that I could get a loan with a first home owners grant and buy a house to live in. And the application for that was way less detail than the rental application. So I ended up buying my first home for $380,000 in southwestern Sydney, in Ingleburn. And that was $200,000 more than the previous owner paid for it only a few years earlier. And that was my light bulb moment. That's where the real estate sort of light bulb happened, that moment where it was like, oh, hang on a sec. They just made $200K. I've just bought it at top dollar, and I definitely want to buy as many of these as possible so that in 10 years, when the next boom happens or whenever it happens, I've got a bunch of properties, they all go up in value and I'll make money. So very simplistic way of looking at it, and look at the limited amount of knowledge I had at the time, but I understood the power of real estate then as a 22, 23-year-old, and that was it. That's when the real estate bug bit me.
It's funny that you say that because everyone else probably that's Balkan would look at that and go, it can't go up anymore. It's maxed out. You looked at it the other way and said, you had the real estate light bulb moment to make money. Everyone else says, oh, it already went up 200. It won't go up again.
But it's the glass half full versus half empty argument,
That
right?
was crazy. You saw it like that because not everyone sees it like that is my point. You said it's going to keep going up. Everyone looked at it. How many people would you say, can't keep going up?
That's what everyone says. But
But that's what I'm saying. You just said you don't listen. You said you weren't good at certain things, but you nailed it.
Yeah, 100%. But I was the way I view it is like this. Real estate's going to go up, yes, and it's about to go up again with interest rate cuts right now coming. I see it like this. If I want real estate to go up and I'm going to make money, okay? If real estate doesn't go up, I started off poor. I started off with nothing. Yeah. So what's the problem here? Yeah. Why can't I take a chance? Why can't I take a shot? Yeah. That's how I see it. I'm not losing anything. Everyone's acting like they're all sitting on $1 billion, and if real estate crashes, we're going to lose our net worth. A lot of people don't have anything. Yeah. If you don't have anything, take a shot. And the thing is, we're all here on this earth for a limited amount of time. I promise you, you're going to leave without all the money. You're going to leave without everything. The only thing you take is experience, right? Yeah, have a shot. So you think, I wasn't told. I was told by my accountant at the time in 2010, 2012 or whenever it was, properties, it's not going to boom, it's going to crash, Everyone told me that. And property's going to crash at some point in the future. Everything happens at some time. But why would I not take the shot now or ride the next boom or the boom after before the crash, or however it works out, right? Take a shot. If you don't take a shot, you can't win. You can't win lotto without the ticket.
That's right.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. Miss Michael Jordan. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
100%.
Yeah, I guess so. There you go. And so you got your first property and you had your own business?
Yeah, small business. Yeah. I had a couple of guards working with me, yeah.
That helped you obviously service a lot of your properties that you purchased over that next block.
Yeah, so I started a small business and had a few guards working for me. And yeah, nothing major, but we made a bit of money, and I had some good serviceability at the time, and I was buying and selling properties and learning that, yeah, if you're going to flip a property, you really need to make a lot of money. You can't do it on the smaller ones. So there was a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of learning in the early days. And I think before 2013 came around, I had bought and sold maybe 8 properties or something like that. So went to seminars, there was plenty that I was learning. My property journey before, I bought 14 properties in 12 months. Before that was an 8-year journey.
Okay.
So it doesn't happen overnight. Like I'm just a regular guy, and I, read a lot of the magazines and went to seminars and learned, and a lot of trial and error. I mean, I think I spent $30,000 on a unit renovation once upon a time in 2007. That was absolutely stupid. Like I wouldn't spend 30 grand on a house renovation today.
But you learnt that.
But I learnt that. I learnt the hard way, and you just do it. You take a shot. So I think that's.
Well, that's good. So you had before that story or what you're known for, I guess, in the media, is that the 14 properties in 12 months.
Yeah.
Great that you've pointed that out. That didn't happen because you woke up and bought 14 properties. That happened from security business Then it happened from 8 years of seminars, learning, renovations, and that gave you the experience to then do that amazing thing that you achieved, which was the 14 property in 12 months, which did get the headlines from the media guys. Yeah. Let's talk about that and then go into how you got to 14 in 12 months.
Yeah. It was interesting because I was, obviously, as you touched on, had a lot of experience up until that point. And the goal was to only buy 4 or 5 properties. If I could get 4 or 5, that would be awesome. You know, I'd have what I'd classify as a portfolio. And I had 3 properties up till then. And I wanted to, go and build that portfolio. So I went and had an amazing year. And instead of the 4 or 5, I ended up buying 1 a month. And I was like, oh, geez, I really want to get to 10. The goal was to get to 10. And I was doing it every month. And I was just buying another property and another property and another property. And then wanted to buy, eventually I was like, I'll buy 1 a month for the year of 2013. That'll be pretty cool. And I ended up surpassing that and buying 14 in the 12 months. So statistically, an amazing feat when you compare it to, a lot of property investors and everything, and serviceability was a lot easier back then.
Yeah, right? I was going to say,
here's a funny story so you can understand sort of how I did it. Actually, before I get to that, let me talk about the strategy. The strategy is the same as what I use today, and that is buy below replacement value, buy in a growth market, buy under market value if you can, buy with a good yield, and buy with the X factor, the ability to add value, renovate, subdivide, etc. So that hasn't changed. That's still the same today, and that strategy I don't feel is going to change in my lifetime. But, whilst doing that, I did really well by buying, $300,000 property back then, a townhouse, for example. I'd buy it for $220,000. You'd spend $6,000 on the renovation. You'd revalue it's worth $300,000. You'd buy a $250,000 house that's worth $290,000. Yeah. That was a townhouse. I bought a $260,000 house that was worth $340,000 after the renovation. So, you're constantly adding value. You're buying well, and then you're adding value, and that's what it is. But we didn't have the data. I didn't have the data back then. So everything was just based on asset selection and, using that ultimate strategy and executing it well. Because the funny thing was I was acting like a buyer's agent back then without knowing it, because I was, I'd made contacts with agents already. They knew who I was. Yeah. They knew I was serious. Yeah. And all the same stuff that I do today, I was doing back then before I had a buyer's agency. So I was doing that. And then the funny story is, whilst I was doing that and buying those properties, you'd get a loan for each one with a different bank, and each bank would give you a credit card, and the credit card might be 10 or 15K. Yeah. I eventually, after 5 or 6, there's a light bulb moment. I can't remember how many properties it was after, and they all sit in this drawer, and there's a whole bunch of credit cards, and I'm like, that little light bulb moment hit me, and I'm like, oh, hang on a sec. What if I empty out these credit cards? Take all the money off each one of them.
Are they business related, or was it?
Well, no, from the loans from the house.
Oh, okay.
So when you get a loan with CBA for property 1, you get a loan from, NAB, for example, for property 2, and then you eventually end up having all these credit cards that they give you with each home loan. So they give you
a home credit card, okay.
So then what I do is they just collect in a drawer, and eventually I was just like, hang on a sec, what if I empty all these credit cards at 22% interest or whatever it is, and I take the cash out and I put it in another bank, and I use that as a deposit to get an approval to get the next one.
Wow.
So I'm just paying. But this is not financial advice. This is my story, and this is not something I recommend other people do.
Well, it's probably a bit harder to do that today anyway, wouldn't it be?
You wouldn't be able to do this today. You wouldn't be able to do this today. Let's make that clear.
Some kid sitting at home trying to do it now. Great advice.
No. But yeah, so I essentially, then when you got another loan and got another approval, and it was... You get another loan, and then because you're buying that under market value, you know what you're doing. You eventually refinance that, and then out of the equity on the property, later on you take the money back out of that, and then you pay the credit card off.
Yeah. Okay. So you had a bit of a system.
So you've got another property, you've added another asset to your total portfolio value, and that's how that works. So that's another way. That's how I was buying incredibly well. Yeah. I was buying incredibly well. I was doing the renovations and not overcapitalizing on it. And the market did a bit of work. And it was just, it's a pretty cool story looking back on it. I don't think I appreciated it as much back in the day.
Probably used that little bit of Western Sydney kid inside you that got that thoughts, like the street smarts? Because a lot of people obviously don't have that street nous, and then you probably took a little bit of that.
I think there's some street smarts.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, we know I'm not a book smart, right?
Yeah.
So there's the street smarts, but there's also that guy that's just comfortable with risk.
Yes. Okay.
Super comfortable with risk.
Where else did you apply that risk?
I've taken plenty of risks in life. Yeah, good and bad, but yeah, it's a hell of a journey, and it's like that overnight success with the 14 properties in 12 months, but it was 8 years coming before that.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, and that's like everyone.
Yeah.
So
Nobody sees it though.
no one sees it, and the thing is, anyone out there can do it. Anyone out there can do it. You just got to execute properly. And whilst we don't have the serviceability that I had at the time, we still live in. I think we're in an easier time to make money than it was, you know, the early 2010s, because we live in such an inflationary environment right now. Rates are about to be cut. Mm-hmm. There's a new round of millionaires coming in Australia, and you can buy based on data. You know, you can jump onto hashtag and literally find your hotspot and go out there and just buy that right asset. So it's so much easier today. Not everyone's going to agree though. Not everyone's going to agree, but
that's good. That's good. So what happened thereafter? I guess it's your, you know, obviously we're talking about your journey and
oh yeah, I started a buyer's agency after that, but I don't think I was very, like, I did it because it was just something that you did because of the success I achieved and everyone wanting me to help them.
you did it because you knew it.
I did it because I knew it, and I was like, I've been given a great opportunity and I should be following this. But in actual fact, at the time, I wasn't really that committed to doing it. For many years even, like I did it and I did the deals, but I was going through the motions. There was no joy in it. Like now, the me that you see that's alive and the me that you have brought out in the social media, right? Because let's face it, you know, I'm, you know, doing incredibly well on social media and our views and everything is because of you. But I've found that love for what I'm doing this year. And that's why we're here together as a team. Like,
Well, it's interesting you say that, because when you sometimes get those phone calls and you say, "Oh, thank you so much," like you've been helped, or you get a text message,
that's what it's
or even your Google reviews, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, just if anyone's listening, go have a check. If you're ever considering using a BA, go check out some of the comments that Mick gets about some of the work he's done for people, and you'll ring me so happy, excited, Steve. I'm like, what? And now it's like a little kid. I swear to God, it's like I'm talking to a little child. You go, someone just told me I helped them with asset selection, or with my help on social media, or with guidance, and you ring me so happy, ecstatic.
It's funny. Like I'll call you random times to tell you random stuff. Like you get a Sunday morning call from me.
But I think it's interesting. You're happy. Like you said, you found that joy.
I love what I do. And you know, it's been a buyer's agent for 10 years now, and I've been investing in real estate now for 19 years. And I think now, this isn't going to sound humble, but I think I'm an absolute gun at what I do. And I look back at the kid who bought the 14 properties in 12 months, who thought he was a know-it-all, thought he was good at the time. I look back at that and had absolutely no idea. Now, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I understand this game so well. And I think it takes time. You know, you need that experience. You know, like that guy said, you cut hair once, you're not a barber, you know? so, yeah.
But yeah, look, it's good. I want you to sort of talk about that as well, because there is an influx of property experts. It's fair to say.
There's a heap of experts.
Yeah. So obviously you're not knocking that. Like, it's good for the business. It's good for the industry. You've never knocked it. You've never rang me and, to be honest, you've never rang me and put anyone down. You're just trying to get better internally and get better with yourself.
Well, that's what's funny. You know, like I back in the day, buyer's agents, you were either inner city buyer's agent and you helped the wealthy, or you're a buyer's agent that comes from the property investment space and you're a buyer's agent because you're successful at what you do and you help other people. That's what it was 10 years ago. Now with the course, I think there's a couple of courses now, they have made so many buyer's agents, and there's a lot that unfortunately don't know what they're doing, and you probably need to be super cautious about the ones that haven't started their own portfolios. But it's created so much awareness of buyer's agents. And it's a great thing because it's highlighted it. Because now when we talk to people, the majority of people understand that we charge a fee. Back in the day, I'd say to people, you know, I charge, you know, $6,900, and you just get told to fuck off. Just blatantly. Yeah, no.
Let's make it clear. Back in the days, not yesterday.
No, back in the days too, you know, a long time ago, 10 years ago. But people were so comfortable with paying the real estate agent. but no one wants to pay for the buying agent. And the funny thing is, the buyer's agent is the most important one, because you either make it or you break it when you buy. When you sell, you're just selling. They're facilitating, and not knocking any real estate agents, but the purchase is way more important than the sale.
You're working as well. It's not to say that you can't make money when you get into real estate. Something that you do, or what I've seen, and I'm no property expert by any chance, you're maximizing their gain. So you sit there and think you might make 5%, 10%. Your job is to try and make them 20, 25. Like that's what you pride yourself on. It's not about making them money, a little bit.
100%. And we're essentially there to stop them buying on emotion, to stick with strategy. And we're there like their insurance policy to stop them making mistakes, because people make mistakes all the time. And it's so hard for me when I watch people, when I do a strategy call and people they've bought the wrong asset, they bought the wrong area, they've been stitched up. And unfortunately this happens, and that's what, people are out there that look, not everyone is on your side. Doesn't matter what industry. We're not just talking about, what we do. There's good and bad in everything, and that's the world of duality, right? So, it's easy for me to help you build your portfolio if that's what you want. Super easy. I do this with my eyes closed, but I can't fix the mistakes of the past. That includes my own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We just have to learn from it. But the thing is, the reason you pay the buyer's agent who knows what he's doing is because he more than likely has made mistakes of his own in the past, has the experience to understand the game, and they're going to help you avoid making the mistakes that the majority make, because the 95%, they have one or two properties. The ones who invest have one or two properties. Us investors who are successful, we have way more properties, and we're in the top 1%. So the goal is to not get stuck on that one or two. Yeah. The goal is to get to 5, 10, 15, achieve that financial
That's when
freedom.
you cash in, I guess, and then you can make that financial freedom. Let's go, obviously, so you've done that, the 14 property, 12 months, and you've given us some great insight into that, and it's quite, comical in a way how it took place, but then you got it right. You said you made a lot of mistakes, but you nailed some things in that space, which is pretty cool, and hearing that back is pretty amazing. Obviously, then the next part of your journey, and
Well, going back to that, sorry to cut you off. Today, with my knowledge today, my skill level, I would have smashed 14 properties in 12 months. If I knew what I knew now, and I had the data that we have now, and I have all that sort of stuff.
So you're saying now it's easier now?
It's easier now. Yeah. But also I'm sitting here talking, I've bought over 500 properties in my career. I'm at a whole nother level. And that's me buying, when I say 500 properties, I've been involved in the transaction from start to finish. That's not me claiming something from, being part of another team. That's me, actually. That's my experience. And, looking back now, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, but yeah, like I knew enough to put it together, and I took heaps of risk. My risk profile is very different to everyone else. I put it together well, but today with my knowledge now, I do that so much better. I'm actually working on one portfolio right now, and we're going to see amazing success with it. It's going to be a super fast build. That's because the person wants that, and they're okay with that. A lot of people have to go at their own pace. Everyone is different.
Of course, yeah. You can work with anyone's budget.
Anyone's budget and anyone's risk profile. I don't tell people to do the things I do. Yeah. Like my last purchase, I didn't check the data. I didn't check anything. I didn't pay for a pest and building inspection. Yeah. I do all the things that I tell my clients not to do for myself. 0 fucks. I literally just go out and just. I know.
But you've got that.
So casual.
But you've done it for so long. You can't expect someone to.
No, but that's what we're here to help you do. Yeah, that's right. But I will tell you to get the pest and build report. Yeah. No, we will do due diligence and so on. But yeah.
Yeah, you've obviously put a lot of time and effort into it, which is really, really good, and it helps people on their journey. Did you feel like you went a lot through like the real estate phase, realestate.com? Did you feel like you punish that, I guess?
So I told you about this one where in 2010, this was before I could spot a deal. This is where I was in 2010, I think. I think I had like 4 properties or whatever it was, 4 or 5 maybe. Yeah. But I'd sit there on realestate.com till 2 a.m. looking for a deal to try and spot a deal and something that's 50 grand under market value. And I couldn't for the life of me find it. And it killed me. It was this obsession. And the funny thing was, realestate.com is not how you get your deals. That's what I've learned. It's through contacts. Let's face it. The contact gets you the deal. You get an amazing deal, and that's your under market value.
And the negotiations that you bring into the table. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I didn't know that as a kid. So now looking back at it, you can't find a deal on realestate.com. It's just a
Even now.
complete waste of time. Even right now, I don't even open realestate.com. I only open realestate.com when I check some comparables, like for rents and just a few things around the area. But I literally don't spend time on realestate.com. I might open that app once a week.
People are losing thousands spending time on that and not letting professionals, I guess.
But even if you spend time on it, you won't nail it because you don't know what you're doing. Realestate.com isn't a whole part of a complete strategy. That's just something you just flick on.
Yeah, it's good to tell the listeners out there, like, this is what, a lot of people think that they scroll on it and they become an expert. Like what you said, cut hair once and become a barber. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. So, no, it's definitely, I went through that phase and I learned that I didn't learn.
So now, obviously, what about post that now? So you've done you've just let everyone know where you're at and your portfolio, your journey, your 14 properties, in 12 months. Now let's move into the next phase. You grew your business, or you started being a buyer's agent because you knew it, but you didn't love it because you felt like you went 100%.
I wasn't loving it. Yeah. No. I got to a stage in my career, I think during the end, like I was going out a lot and partying, and it was so easy. It was just so easy for me. And everyone loves hearing that story about how hard it was, and how you built your portfolio. It was very hard in my 20s, sacrificing everything and working hard to earn money to build a portfolio. But once I got to that stage, like I was literally like, I was partying all the time. I didn't care. And I think it was a realization that is that all there is to everything, because there was no, I didn't find happiness in money. There wasn't anything great about it, and it didn't change me. I didn't become more of an asshole or anything, like some people do. They say money and alcohol brings out who you truly are, right? For me, I was, I sort of struggled and I didn't value it. So the ultimate success, and as much money as you want, as much free time as you want, it was a little bit destructive for me. It didn't really, I didn't value it, and it was tough. Yeah, definitely. I think I'm a dopamine guy, right? So obviously, nicking my parents' car and going around the block
falls into that category.
My dad gets home, goes for a shower. I nick the car. I'm like, shit, I got 5 minutes. I'll go around the block. That's the risky guy. That's me. That's how, in my portfolio, I'm comfortable, scaling and leveraging heaps because that's my personality. And so I love buying more property. That's a dopamine hit. It's getting another deal. And I do it today in my buyer's agency. I love getting deals, right? Because you love it. That's what you like doing. It was just a constant high, and you're just doing deals and deals and deals, and going out and partying and running amok, and life just became about chasing dopamine, and it became, drinking came with that, and that Wolf of Wall Street lifestyle, and I had that for so many years, and it's glamorized on TV, and the majority of people won't get to live that. So in a sense, I am grateful I got to live that, because that taught me that wasn't the be all and end all in life. But mate, once that, you can only go for so long at the top and run amok like that before it starts to become, a bit of a drain, and it doesn't become glamorous. And then all of a sudden it starts to become something that's depressing. It starts to become something that, it took me to a bit of a dark place.
So you've obviously, do you feel like the experience you gain from that helps you love your job today, obviously, because you said you partied?
Yeah, I was going to say, love the partying. Yeah, I love the partying.
No, well, obviously, like you said, the partying's fun to a certain point, and then you do it all, and you chase the women, the cars, the dopamine, the all the stuff that makes you feel like it matters. And now you're in a place like where's the shift now? So you just spoke about that, and you get kind of depression. It gets depressive. Yeah. Fake friends, maybe a bit of everything. Combine it all. Yeah, fake family members. Everyone just becomes because you're quite successful at this point, so people just start hanging off you a little bit. You'll put your pocket out, someone will grab it.
Oh, the family that doesn't come around comes around.
That's what I mean. So you can, and then how do you shift out of that? Like anyone listening, how do you what's your
I don't know. I think everyone's gone through that journey of realizing who around you is real and who isn't. And I think the sooner you realize that, the better. Yeah. And I feel as humans, we often entertain average people around us because they serve a purpose. Like me, I love going out and getting drunk with the boys, and not realizing at the time that some of these people aren't the best as humans, but they serve their purpose, because you like going out every fortnight or whatever it was, and you just get blotto and so on. But in reality, as humans, they don't really identify you. identify or resonate with you or who you are. I think a lot of people have been through that journey, so I understand it. I've got mates that have been on the gambling journey and stuff like that. It's just one of those things where everyone has their vices. Yeah, and I understand it. I think once you get out of it, there's such an upside and a life's beautiful. It's you can truly appreciate it, and I think that's where my passion goes. I'm nearly a year sober from alcohol, and hence why you probably see it in my career.
Yeah, it's be more lively. Yeah, I can see how.
And I love what I do.
Mick will ring you out too if he's got an idea. Don't worry about that. 2 a.m. It doesn't matter. He's always constantly looking for the next big thing. That's good. So then that obviously shifted to your mindset now. I appreciate it. It seems grateful, probably more appreciative, more grateful.
So grateful for life. Yeah. There was a time when I wasn't, and I was just like, there's some real heavy times, which I'm not going to go now. I'll save for another time. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, and there's a real beauty to life and that appreciation. And I think I get a lot of it from my purpose now of helping people. Nailing an absolute killer deal for someone, that is amazing. Yeah. And they're happy with it, and there's something rewarding about that. That's it's an amazing thing.
That's good. So that's where we are today. I guess you've obviously now, That's what's the upside. Let us know. Like this is obviously helping the deals. Is anything you want to add to that? I guess about where you're at and what the next chapter looks like for Pinnacle buyers agents and Mick Lazare?
I think just establishing the right team that has that same energy and purpose that I have, with helping people. I think that's what I'm building here, and I'm building that right team of humble, good people who just genuinely want to help others, and that's evident in the hashtag community that we're very active in as well. Just being around good people is where my life is at, and that's what I love doing and helping them.
No, that's good. You've got I know I've been around you for a bit too, so I can sort of attest to that. It's hard, like obviously talking about yourself, and can come a bit. It's difficult sometimes to talk about yourself, but I guess I can talk for myself here for a second. Being with you and dealing with you, I don't think anyone's really rang you before and you've sort of said to them, sorry mate, I can't speak to you about it or give you any advice. You are pretty good like that. You'll always give a couple of minutes to someone if they call you, they ask about, what they can do, this is my budget. Yeah. You said to them, look, we can work with that. What are you looking for? Yeah. So it does seem like that's fired up inside you. You are willing to do that now.
100%. I'm 7 days a week. Yeah. And you know what's funny is during the week, I struggle to get back to everyone. Mm-hmm. Then on Sunday morning, I'm there going, fuck, I could take a call right now. Yeah. Because I'm so used to it for the other, 6 days a week.
Throw content in there.
Yeah. Now I'm telling everyone that I'll take calls on a Sunday morning. I have a bunch of clients calling me at 7 a.m. But yeah, I genuinely enjoy it. So it's not work for me. So when I tell people I work 7 days a week, because I love what I do, they laugh. I don't know sometimes whether they're laughing because they're laughing at me like this guy's lost the plot, or I like it. It's just, it's not work when you love it.
But I think you got to go back. Yeah, but you said it before. Your obsessions come back. It's come back. You're obsessed. So isn't it? What do they say? History repeats itself, or life comes back full circle. Yeah. You're just that kid that was obsessed with real estate. Yeah. And it's come back. It's come back. Yeah. So yeah, it's good. Look, and anything else that you want to, I guess, share about your journey that you want to let everyone know?
I think that's that. I think that there's highs and lows in more ways than one, and it's and there's light at the end of the tunnel. And yeah, you always see me on social. Actually, someone told me about this. They said you don't break it down, because I don't simplify something sometimes. Because I'm like, I just assume people know what a yield is. I just assume, people understand equity,
You're giving them level professional level, but
Yeah, so you see that guy that looks so far ahead and has all that experience, but I'm just a regular guy who's gained through a lot of pain and a lot of ups and downs, I'm just like anyone else.
So you can save them 20 years of heartache.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. But look, I'm also very appreciative of this podcast, and I just want to share so much of our journey moving forward. So we're going to do this weekly, and we got Dr. Martia on from Hashtag Analytics as well. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to share as much as possible. So if anyone's got any questions that they want to submit,
and obviously being a part of Mick's marketing and social journey, jump onto his Instagram, check him out.
Yeah.
There's going to be more
Always
YouTube.
something.
Yeah, there's more YouTube stuff coming out. There's car rants. There's more value pieces around strategy.
Yeah.
Mick's just here to help the general common guy or the rich guy. It doesn't matter what bucket you fall in. He just wants to give guidance. So jump on the Instagram.
Definitely.
Reach out if you guys need anything from Mick's end, and he'll be happy to help.
Done. Thank you all for joining us.
No worries. Thanks, guys. That's all right.
Cheers.